In the beginning, there was nothing, just a soft darkness without edges, without form, without sound. It was a silence so dense that time itself didn't even feel like flowing. No one was in a hurry. Nothing moved. Everything floated in the same eternal stillness, as if even the idea of existence hesitated to appear. Then, very slowly, perhaps after billions and billions of moments that weren't yet moments, a thin thread of something appeared. Maybe light, maybe a thought? It wasn't clear. The thread floated in that dense and quiet void like a string, forgotten by someone who was never in a rush. The thread didn't do anything, it just existed. Time, or what would become time, started to notice it. Slowly, lazily, almost asleep. The thread stayed there for a very long time. Maybe an eternity. Maybe more than an eternity. Then it bent a little, not much, just slightly. Just enough to no longer be completely straight. From that tiny bend, in the pace of a tired snail, a shape was born. It was a very simple shape. Almost a dot, but not quite. It had no color, no smell, no purpose. It was just there, slow and boring. Time began to flow. Slowly, very slowly. At first, a second lasted as long as a dream that refuses to end. Then it picked up slightly, but not too much. Time was drowsy, like after a heavy meal. That vague shape moved a bit more. It became a sphere. Not a perfect one. It had corners, although spheres should have no corners. But no one seemed to mind. The sphere with corners began to tremble softly, like a balloon, letting out air very, very slowly. From that trembling came vibrations. The vibrations gave birth to sound, but not clear sounds. More like a hum, like a thought repeating itself but never being spoken. From sound came light, not a bright light. Number A, dim, twilight-like glow spilling over a field where nothing grew. That light stayed like that for a long, long time. It did nothing. It just floated, warm, numbing, sleepy. Then by some forgetfulness of eternity, the light fell into a thought. The thought was bored and alone. So from that thought, an idea formed. Maybe there should be something. But it wasn't an enthusiastic idea. More of a tired suggestion, like when you think maybe you should get out of bed, but you don't. That idea slowly grew, like moss on stone. From it came shapes, a smudge, a circle, a triangle that couldn't decide if it wanted to be a square. All these shapes floated in that dim light, without hurry, without purpose. One of the shapes became a rock. Then, after a very long time, the rock became a continent. Not a continent as we know it, just a gathering of stone, slowly drifting through a barely formed ocean. The ocean formed slowly from the tears of time. Each droplet fell rarely, very rarely, and lingered long before joining the others. Eventually, after what felt like forever, there was enough water. Upon the water, a leaf floated. It didn't know where it came from. Maybe from a dream of the light. Maybe from a wandering shape. The leaf spun slowly, very slowly, like a half-thought. From that leaf came the first idea of life. Life was not energetic. It didn't shout, didn't explode. It was a quiet, fuzzy presence that spread across the water and stone like mist. Every thread of life grew slowly, like a deep sleep you never want to wake from. Then at some point, from that life came beings. Beings that had no worries, but also no plans. They just walked sometimes and then stopped. Some stopped so long they forgot they could move. Others moved so slowly it was hard to tell if they were moving at all. Time watched them all and sighed. Not in sadness, but in exhaustion. It began to flow a bit faster, but not too much. Just enough not to fall asleep. The beings began to dream. They dreamed of simple things. Wind, sand, the shadows of clouds. They didn't dream of wars or empires, they didn't feel like it. They simply sat under the sky and dreamed slowly. The earth started to move. Tectonically, slowly, without noise, without earthquakes. Just a rustle barely heard. The continent broke apart, then it came back together. Then it stayed like that for a very long time. The sun rose and set without impressing anyone. The sky was always the same, a mix of grays and soft whites. Stars appeared, but they didn't shine too brightly. They just were. And so the world was formed. Not through magic, not through lightning or explosions, but through cosmic laziness and infinite patience. No one rushed, no one cried. Everything was, is, and will be slow, gentle, boring, and at the same time, so soothing. And maybe if you let yourself sink into this slowness, you too will feel a part of that quiet world, where everything exists only to breathe. Slowly, without hurry, without great dreams, just with a sleepy sigh and a barely born thought.